My name's Kalina, and I'm a musical theater student at Zoom University. With everything that's been going on with the world recently, you could say it's a lot.
Oh, really?
The industry is getting more and more digitalized. It's gonna become a trend that people are gonna start cutting costs and time by seeing more and more self-taped auditions or having just a lot of the communication happening online in regards to producing shows. I am not really good at this. Having Zoom classes and feeling comfortable in front of a camera. For a work opportunity, I had a casting director reach out and task me with filming a short video of myself in which I represent something about me in the most natural way that I could possibly do. I had to record it 50 times because I sounded like a scripted robot. So I thought, what better way to fix this than practice? Which is why I whipped this thing out. So now I'm gonna record myself talking and broadcast it to the world. Cue in the narcissistic actor jokes. To be fair though, I do think I have a few interesting things to share.
That's what every narcissist says.
I posted a story on Instagram asking for people to submit questions related to musical theater, my studies, stuff like that, and surprise, surprise, I did not get ignored. A lot of you submitted a question, so much so that I'm not even going to be able to answer all of these because I tend to go off talking for a really long time and I don't want to waste anyone's time by making this 70 hours long. What classes are included in your course? My course, like a lot of musical theater courses, has a practical and a theoretical element. The practical element being, of course, 3 elements of the triple threat, aka singing and music, dance, and acting. The singing includes solo and ensemble singing. You have 1 hour a week at least of coaching with a professional vocal coach, and you have ensemble singing classes in which you are more focused on just learning parts of a harmony in an ensemble number. Then you have acting, which is learning different acting techniques, for example, naturalism and Stanislavski. Dance is divided into jazz, tap, and movement improvisation. Along with that, I also do outside classes, which I have organized for myself personally. They are not provided by my university. I do ballet and I do stretching and body conditioning. Okay, the theoretical element, which is music theory and dramaturgy, which is basically learning about the book, the lyrics, and the music. So analyzing those, deconstructing them, anything that will help you actually learn the nitty-gritty parts of how the industry works, why those stories are so compelling. How has lockdown affected your first year studies? The UK is in a second national lockdown and none of my classes are in person currently, which is why the university, and I think that's a lot of performing arts colleges in general, have adopted the strategy of just basically focusing a lot more on the theoretical aspect of things right now. Dance classes are postponed until further notice. I appreciate that my school acknowledges the fact that we're paying to get the best education possible, and learning dance online does not include that, so they would rather us not skim through part of the modules for dance by doing a half-assed version of them online and just rather wait and fill our time with more productive things for the circumstances we're in right now and have dance be a focus more when it's, you know, more possible. How does it even work studying theater online? I mean,
Difficult.
the way that I've kind of been making sure I'm making some kind of progress is just basically taking the time, learning about the actual industry a lot more than I would have had I been in the studio from 8 to 8, and also finding the right rep, which is like monologues, songs that suit me because it does take a lot of time, and I have had the time to do that now. How do you practice choreo in your room? Simplest answer for this is I don't. I've tried, trust me. However, one, in a dance class online, you have to mirror everything for yourself in order for you to follow it. You also don't have the space, the direct feedback from the teacher. Sometimes if it's not a live class, you can't even ask questions about the choreography.
Can I ask you my question?
It's so much harder to do things correctly. I'm just even building bad habits, doing things the wrong way, not actually getting someone to correct me, so it's not productive. What I do instead is I've found the largest space that I could have in my house and just focus more on technique in the different styles, doing a lot of bar work on a chair, practicing pirouettes, practicing the very, very basics. What is your favorite part of your studies and then least favorite part of your studies? In a way, they're both kind of the same thing. I spend every single hour in my studies learning about the thing that I'm most passionate about. I've never felt so excited to just open up an assignment and start working on it. On the other side of things, constantly thinking about the industry and having it on your mind 24/7, constantly stressing out about how to be successful in it can be a little bit toxic and draining at points. That's a little bit difficult about it. I kind of sometimes hate the fact that I can actually never really relax on the topic. What is your favorite element of Triple Threat? The one that I find most rewarding when I get it down, that's acting. It's like once I get a character and I feel like I can deliver a convincing performance for the audience, there is no better feeling in the world. The one I feel like I'm best at, simply because I've spent the most time training in that subject area, that's perhaps singing. And the one that I find most fascinating and interesting, that's dance. It's the power of telling stories through movement is just mind-blowing. Do you manage a job alongside your studies? Not a typical shift job, so what I've done instead is I've found freelance work based on other things that are my strengths, for example writing, translation, and video editing. Ask around friends, family, relatives, parents even. A lot of them will know someone who can probably give you something to do that they can't do themselves, and they would actually hire you to do it instead of a professional because you're a lot cheaper and you're both helping each other out.
Business.
Why London? Theatre, you have two main places where everyone tries to flock to when it comes to the schools. One of them is New York, one of them is London. And those were my two choices as well. At the end, I got a better offer from a London school, money-wise and education-wise. I just found my place in London. Did you study MT before coming to London? Yes and no. I didn't go to a performing arts high school or any kind of vocational school like some of I know my classmates have. However, I did do musical theater as an extracurricular in high school. I did it up till 12th grade. It wasn't technical training as in learning voice, learning acting, but it was a lot of performance experience. The aim of the club was to basically produce a fully fledged show every single year. So I basically did 5 shows. It is by far the most I've learned about musical theater in my life. And on that note, what's your favorite memory from ACS Musical? If someone from my old cast asks. Obviously Romania, the Romania trip. That's when we kind of shifted from being colleagues, I guess, to being an actual family. It was the best thing that could ever happen to us, and we bonded so much. Ugh, take me back, please. When, how, and why did you first get involved with musical theater? Musical theater in one form or another has been in my life since I was like this little. Even when I was like 4 years old, you could like wake me up in my sleep and I'd be able to recite the lyrics and sing the songs from, you know, stuff like Sing in the Rain, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Mary Poppins. You know, those were movies that I watched with my mom and my dad, and they catapulted me into a lifelong love for this art. But I never really considered it as a career choice up until 9th or 10th grade, which is kind of when I was like, maybe, probably, I'm addicted. It's practically impossible, but what's your favorite musical? As you said, it's practically impossible. However, for personal reasons, I'm gonna have to say Les Miserables. That was the last show we were able to do with my cast at high school before we were unable to produce the next one because of COVID, and it's connected to so many emotions. If you had to live the rest of your life as a character from a musical, which one would you choose to be and why? I would say Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray. She's just so unapologetically herself. She goes for her dreams no matter what anyone says, and she actually don't take nothing from no one. And I would like to be like her, please. She's a badass. Unpopular audition tip. I love this question. I don't hear it said very often. This is obviously know your monologue for your audition inside out in terms of lines. Don't memorize a specific way that you're gonna say them. For example, I'm gonna say this sentence with this intonation, or I don't know, stuff like that, because 10 times out of 10, you're gonna get directed on them. So you're gonna do your monologue once, whatever they ask for, contemporary or classical. Then they're gonna say, okay, now try saying this like, I don't know, as if you're saying this to your mom who's just caught you sneaking in her, I don't know, jewelry drawer or something like this. The tasks are usually kind of crazy. If you have a specific way in which you've directed yourself and you can't get outside that box because it's just settled in as muscle memory so much, you're gonna have a really hard time actually following that direction. You're gonna end up doing the exact same thing you did the first time, and you're gonna get screwed. Another tip, this is just as important, and it's a confidence one. Remember, yeah, the competition might be fierce. You're gonna enter a building in which there are gonna be 500 other people. I'm speaking from personal experience. You're gonna say, I have no chance against anybody. A lot of them actually don't know what they're doing, unlike you, because 50% of those girls there are gonna be the ones singing Don't Rain on My Parade, and there's gonna be that one dude who thought that Do You Hear the People Sing is a good choice for an audition song.
Wow.
And you're not that. Also, by the way, if you don't know why Don't Rain on My Parade is not a good choice for a woman to sing for an audition, then we need to have a chat. How do I improve my stage presence? If you take this backwards and you say, what might be stopping me from having the best stage presence I could possibly have in this moment? The answer is probably something along the lines of fear of failure or embarrassment. What you can do in this moment is really play into the power that you have over the audience's emotions. You have control what every single person in those seats are feeling while you're on stage. That's a superpower. Lean into it. Enjoy that. I would even call it ethical manipulation in a sense. How do you train your voice, and how do you measure the results of your training? I guess you could never go wrong with actually having a teacher. The main thing that they give you is expertise and feedback. With measuring success, I would say record yourself, listen back to it, as cringy as it might be. When you're in the moment, it can be kind of discouraging because you don't feel like you're making actual progress. However, just listen to a clip of yourself singing from a year ago versus now. You're gonna see that you've come such a long way and you can do this. Have you ever tried a song from the musical Hamilton? I don't know. Have I? Comment down below if you want me to try something out. Okay, so basically that was it. I'm really grateful for you if you stayed till the end. Comment down below if you have anything else that you would like me to share my thoughts on, and I'm gonna see you soon if I don't chicken out of doing this. Bye.